Hey guys, it's the AB Tone Show. I'm Adam.
I'm Bryan.
Today is for all you string geeks. Yes, that's correct. Today we're going to be doing Diodario EXL 110s against Diodario EXL 110 BT's balanced tension.
Is there a difference? We're going to get to the bottom of it. Stay tuned.
We know what you're thinking. What's up with this balanced tension set? Is it just a marketing ploy?
Or maybe it's a way to keep us all in delusional grandeur.
Maybe it's just malarkey. But I'll tell you one thing. We're going to find out today.
We're also going to look at it on 4 different guitars, 2 with single coils and 2 with humbuckers.
We heard from our humbucker friends last time, so we didn't want to leave you out this time. We've got a Collings i35.
And a Firebird 5.
Mini humbuckers, regular humbuckers, single coils, 25.5-inch scale length, short scale. You be the judge. Getting ready to restring the old telly here. I'm using the Diodario EXL 110s, their standard nickel wound strings. Later on in the show, we're going to be using their balanced tension set, their new balanced tension set, and you guys can hear the differences between the two. So getting ready to restring. I take all my strings off at the same time. And one really cool thing that I always learned from a tech about Diodario strings, BRB GPS. So that's brass, red, black, green, purple, silver. BRB GPS. That's 6th string to 1st string. So we're going to restring these and we'll commence to see how they sound in the differences here in just a little while.
Everybody, just about to put the EXL 110's standard set on my telly, but just wanted to give you a couple of things that you might want to do after you've been playing for a while on the same guitar and it's getting a little grimy on the fingerboard. One of the things that I like to do is use some quadruple aught steel wool, that is 4 zeros. You basically get a little bit of it in a little bit of a ball, and what you want to do is you want to rub in a circular motion over the frets and just all over the entire neck of the guitar and the fingerboard. Now, one word of caution when you do this is that this is little bits of metal that you're actually using. And what do we know about pickups? They are magnets. They like little bits of metal, and they'll start to polarize around your pickups. Now, I've got old Joe Bardens on here, but even if they're standard pickups, it doesn't matter what type of pickup. So I give it a nice little cleaning, and then I wipe it off. Now, in this case, you can get out your favorite old concert t-shirt that you had when you were 13 years old. This one is not one, but I used to have an old one from the Texas Jam, which was Metallica and Van Halen at the Cotton Bowl. The other thing you can also do is give yourself a little bit of lemon oil, and you can find this at any hardware store. But a little dab will do you. This will probably last me my entire life. The best way to administer this technique is to just give yourself a couple of dabs, and then go ahead and start rubbing it in to your fingerboard. And because of the oil, it's going to seep in to your fingerboard. And that's going to keep the wood from drying out. If it's too dry, it'll start to split, and you can in fact have splits running down the length because of the grain of the wood. You can actually have that running down your fingerboard. I'm going over the frets and doing everything else. And there it is. It's pretty clean. One last little bit. I usually will take my fingernail and sort of wrap it in here just to get a little bit of an edge. And then from there, I take it and I go right on the baseline of each fret, and I basically get the fronts and the backs, or the tops and the bottoms, however you like to think about it. And you can see that it's already getting some gunk. And then you've got a nice clean guitar. So playing this a little bit, especially on the bending of the string, the B string on the standard ones feels a little flabby. Which is good for certain things. Yeah. The E feels tighter to me, and the B feels flabby on the standard set. Even just doing that. Lot of wiggle there. So of all the strings, the B feels the most flabby to me, the one that's just not quite as tight. The other ones feel okay. So let's see what happens when we put on the balance tension set.
So that was very interesting. This is the set of balance tension strings that I had on here for the second time through. Played pretty much the same thing, but what I noticed from a person that plays with a thumb pick and fingers is that there was a more sense of a balance across the string. Bryan touched upon it earlier with the B string feeling a little bit squirrely to him. With this balance set, it's much easier to do pedal steel bends, much easier to do double stops, because it feels like you're on the same tension. There's a nice sense of balance, as I said, across the strings. I really do like these strings. No sense really in difference in tone, because they both are nickel wound around a stainless steel core. So no real difference in tone there, but there's a lot of difference in feel. Nice job, guys.
Well, balance tension is definitely different than the standard set tension. This feels nice and tight all the way through on just about anything that you want to wiggle and do any kind of bend on any finger, any fret. It feels consistent all the way through. So this set is great because across every string it feels more or less the same. The nice thing about having the balanced tension set on scale length like the Collings, which is 24 and 7/8, which is slightly longer than a Gibson scale, which is 24 and 3/4, is again, it's going to be balanced all the way through. So it's amazing how this is translating on Adam's Firebird, on the I-35, on the Tellys. We're both feeling exactly the same thing, which is a nice sense of evenness throughout every string. For those of you who are playing any kind of hybrid technique or finger style, or you play with your fingers, or whatever it is, I would highly recommend the balanced tension set over a standard gauge. And I think the vote's pretty much unanimous. We both really feel like this is a welcome addition into the world of strings, and it's certainly going to be something that I'm going to be putting on my guitars.
Okay, as you can see from your screenshot right now, the total tension in pounds, or the tip,
just the tip. The tip.
on an EXL 110 standard set is 103.06 pounds. That is measured at 25.5-inch scale length. Now, the total tension in pounds, or the tip, on an EXL 110 BT is 100 pounds, 100.73. So that does it for this episode of the AB Tone Show. We want to thank Diodario Strings for providing sets so that we can change all of our strings on these guitars for them, so we appreciate that.
All in, what'd you think about it?
All in, I would have to say that I would be using these strings on both of my guitars from here on out. I felt that it made much more of a difference on the shorter scale instruments, but I could certainly, like you felt it on the Telly, I could feel it there. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think so too. I'm a fan. I'm going to start putting them on the other guitars now and just play with them.
We're wondering now if Diodario will do this in other sets, not only just their nickel wound ones, but maybe their chromes and some other things. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that'd be great. And that's one of the reasons why we didn't show you changing the strings on the Firebird and on the Collings, simply because it's the same sets of strings, the same core, so there's really no difference in tone. This is more about, and I guess the entire episode really is, how does it feel when you play it? So it's mostly from a player's perspective, and I can definitely feel a difference.
I do too. And I think if anyone picks up a set of these and puts it on right after a standard set, you're going to feel it too. And I think it's a good feel.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back with another episode really soon, so stay tuned. If you like what the show's about, friend us on Facebook, the AB Tone Show. And we also have a YouTube channel as well, so you can get the back episodes if you haven't seen them all already. Until next time, see you later.